Hey everybody, Eric Pate here, back with another video. So today I am going to go through and make my predictions on the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs. Alright, so it's about that time of year again. This time, it is about that time of year again. It is time to starting this week, and we will have our run to Phoenix to decide the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. You notice that a certain name is not on here, and it's big name driver Chase Elliott. Why is he not on here, you might ask? He did not make the playoffs after missing 7 races, thanks to this guy right here in the third position. So, I'm not saying the first 6 was Hamlin's fault. They were Chase's, but the 7th was clearly Hamlin's fault. Anyway, let's get going. We start off at the Darlington Raceway for this year's running of the Southern 500. And for me, I think the winner of that race. So Darlington is a hard track, in my opinion. It is a very hard track to win at. You have to take really good care of your car at the Darlington Raceway. Last year, Kyle Busch was en route to win this race, and his engine blew with 15 laps to go. Now, I do not see that happening again this year. I think if Kyle Busch is in position to win this race at Darlington, I do see him winning Darlington. So let's go ahead and move on Kyle Busch. We have the Kansas race next. Had a very spectacular finish out in the spring. With Hamlin turning Larson, and that's why I don't like Hamlin anymore, because that was not the only time he did it this year. He did it for a win as well at Pocono. Also, not just to Larson, but also Larson's teammate Bowman. But I do believe Kyle Larson. This is going to be a race I will be attending, but I do believe. I do believe Kyle Larson is going to win the Kansas race. So, if he's in a position again. Next up, we have the Bristol race. I don't know what to say really about this race. The night races just always have never disappointed. I don't think it's going to disappoint again. But with that being said, I think it's going to go down between William Byron and Martin Truex. Oh, by the way, I do see one of them being automatically clinched in at the end of the Kansas race. But between those two, I do think William Byron is going to finally get himself a short track. Well, he has a short track win, but another short track win. I do not see Martin Truex getting eliminated in round 1. I do not see Chris Buescher getting eliminated in round 1. I think Chris Buescher is going to have enough points. I do not see Denny Hamlin, as much as I hate saying his name, is not going to disappoint. I do not see Chastain being eliminated from this round. I do think Joey Logano is going to move on. I think Brad Keselowski is going to move on as well. Blaney, I see moving on as well. And I think Harvick is going to say some things. So, I do think Kevin Harvick is going to move on. And the person in the last spot, I see him barely getting in. He barely was out last year. But I do think he's going to make it again this year. I think Tyler Reddick is going to move on. I'm sorry, I'm sipping on a smoothie I just made. Texas. I finally think Martin Truex, the last handful of years, have been trying his best to get that Texas win. I think he's going to finally get it. Talladega, it's an anybody can win race. So I'm just going to put the underdog, the guy I think is going to be an underdog outlier to make it to round of 8, and I think it's going to be Tyler Reddick. Oh, real quick, our round 1 eliminations were Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse, Mike McDowell, and Christopher Bell. But I think it's going to be a fight between Bell and Reddick to get into, and I just don't think Bell hasn't been consistent enough since he won the dirt race. Charlotte Roval, uh, Larson won it a couple years ago. Bell won it last year. Honestly, though, out of everybody in the round of 12, Kyle Busch does not have a good track record. Um, well, I do see if Truex is there, I think Truex is going to get it done at the Roval. Same thing. You know what? I do think William Byron is going to say something though at the Roval. I think Kyle Busch is going to have enough points to move on to round of 8. I think Chris Buescher is still going to still going to say some things in the second round. Except for the one year he missed the playoffs in 2017, he has yet to the earliest he's been eliminated was round of 8. I think so. I think Joey Logano is going to go to round of 8 again. I think I think Larson is going to finally get in this year. I think Larson's going to get into the round of 8 this year. He barely missed it last year. And he could have easily made the championship 4 because he had put on a dominating performance at Homestead last year. And the last guy to make it into the round of 8, I think Chastain is going to make the round of 8. I am intentionally picking on Hamlin because I do not like Hamlin right now. But anyway, so that means our round 2 eliminations are Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin are round 2 eliminations. We get into the championship 4 now. I think we're going to kick things off in Las Vegas. And I think Ross Chastain is going to finally get himself the Vegas win he's been searching for. He led the most laps in both races last year. Actually was 2 laps away from winning this exact race last year. The exact Las Vegas race. Until he got passed by Joey Logano, and Joey Logano ended up winning that race. And Joey Logano went on to be the 2022 champion. As I was not a Joey Logano fan at the time. Homestead. You know what? Kyle Busch is going to get his 3rd Homestead win. No. Homestead has been a really great track to pretty much everybody in the second round, except for maybe Chris Buescher. Tyler Reddick won their back-to-back years in Xfinity. Truex won his first championship there. Byron got his 2nd career win at Homestead. Kyle Busch won both of his championships at Homestead. Logano won his first at Homestead. Larson dominated last year's race at Homestead. But I think Truex, who finished 2nd in this race last year, I think he's going to get it done. I'm pretty sure he finished second last year. Or he was on pace to win, and then, yeah. Okay, Martinsville. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think it's gonna go. It's gonna go either of these last six drivers' way. The middle six drivers' way. If I have to absolutely pick, though, which I think is gonna have the most consistency at the Martinsville Raceway in the elimination, I I think William Byron is the best choice to go for in this situation. So I would go ahead and move on William Byron. And who do I think is going to get the last spot? Now, I think Logano, Buscher, Kyle Busch, and Larson, and Tyler Reddick. All I think will have a pretty consistent round of 8. They're there for a reason. I don't think Chastain's going to pull what he did last year to get into the championship 4, where he put in the wall and won. But out of these 6 guys, I think if he just keeps racing the way he did the last 5 weeks, because last 5 weeks he's really came on fire, and I do think Chris Buescher is going to pull a Martin Truex and kind of come on late into his career. I'm as much as I would like to see Kyle Busch make it into the championship 4, I would honestly think Chris Buescher has a better shot at making the championship 4 than Kyle Busch. I've been wrong before. We'll see if I'm wrong again this time. I'm pretty sure I will be. I'm pretty sure this back is actually going to break in the first round. We haven't even started the playoffs yet, so... Okay, all I know is it can break this weekend. And the champion. So this does happen to be our championship 4. I think... I honestly don't see Chastain and Buescher winning it if one of them two do. If those two do make the final 4. But honestly, in my opinion, I think our champion this year is going to go down between William Byron and Martin Truex. So with that being said, it's a tough choice right now between if I want to make Martin Truex this year's champ or William Byron. But honestly, as of late, beginning of the season he was consistent, kind of went on a hiatus during the summertime. But he's been right there. But as the season was coming to a close, he started to come back a little bit more. I don't think he's gonna do that in the playoffs. I honestly do not think that, and I do think William Byron will be our champion this year. Even if it means he has to sweep the Phoenix races because he won the spring race. So that's what I got. So he does. Honestly, though, the way things are going, I do not see the champion winning the race this year. I said that last year, but boy, was I wrong. All right, so let me know. Let me know what you think your championship 4 is. Let me know who you think this year's champion is, and if you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, favorite, be nice, go be awesome. May Peyton on hate. See you later.